Satang Prasanga.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and welcome to today's session. I hope you all are well and taking the necessary precaution that's required to be safe. So today we're on Sutra number 15, and it goes as follows. Don't expect answers that are full and complete in every detail. How can we move towards actions as is often required, yet remain faithfully dependent? When it's time to act, we should review Krishna's power and care for his devotees. This will help us deal with our fear, feelings of inability, and perhaps lack of details. So today's sutra is starting in a very interesting way, because it's saying don't expect a full clear answer. When we in pain, we're expecting a vivid clear answer of how to get help, especially from the Lord and by reading through the scripture. But many times it won't come as clear as that. Why is that? Because ultimately we're building a relationship with the Lord. Remember, explanation comes from the mind and reason comes from the intellect. We're not using these two faculties. We're using the faculty of intuition. This is a new aspect that is being introduced today, that of intuition. That of the sense of knowing but not knowing why. You kind of know this feels right, but you don't know why. And that's based on relationship with the Lord, that He's there as the super soul He's guiding. And we don't use that aspect of knowledge very often. Mothers know it very well. They trust it more with their children than factual knowledge, pratyaksha. They trust it more than direct sense perception. So why is that? Because they kind of know. There's a sense of knowing within us without knowing why. And that's very, very powerful. And that's the realm we're trying to enter in. We're trying to move our consciousness more into the intuitive level of listening to His voice and listening to His solutions rather than what my solution may be. So it goes on to say, don't expect answers that are full and complete. So we discussed this, that because we're building a relationship of love, sambandha gyan, the relationship is based on love, not on explanation and reason. That we used to develop faith, but now we have faith, so we don't need that further, or that's not going to serve us to where we want to go to now in our relationship with the Lord. Now we need love to continue this relationship. So he says here, in every detail, how can we move towards action as is often required, yet remain faithfully dependent? We want to act, but we still need to be dependent. So what holds us back? It's fear. Fear. So fear is interesting. There's a nice acronym that describes this. Fear means false evidence appearing real. And this is the one thing that Krishna warns against in the 18th chapter, that ma suchaha, do not fear. And what is fear? Fear is the absence of relationship with the Lord and a deep conditioned relationship with the body. But we're so attached to the body, we can't give up or understand any other type of reality, especially that in our relationship with the Lord. Yesterday I was listening to a nice class by Srila Prabhupada, and he was explaining this point about darkness and light. He says, there's no such thing as actual darkness in and itself. It just exists because there's no light. Once there's light, there's no darkness. So in and itself is not a separate existence. It just means the absence of light. So fear is similar. Fear means that it's just our absence of relationship with the Lord. Once that's there, there's no fear, because you know. There's a famous story of Srila Prabhupada when he was a Grihastha. He was taking his son on the train, and the conductor came by, and I think they kind of knew each other, the Prabhupada and the conductor. They greeted very cordially. So the conductor wanted to play with this little boy. So he looked at him and says, "Oh, where is your ticket?" And this Prabhupada's son was like, oh, what do I do now? He says, "No, without ticket, you're not allowed on the train." So he's holding he's holding Prabhupada's little finger, and he's saying, "Ask my father." So as long as you're holding the little finger, you have some connection, some yoga, then you are invincible. You feel infallible. So this is the power of connecting with the Lord. There's a beautiful saying that for he who bows down before God, he can stand before any man. Beautiful saying. So it goes on to say here, when it's time to act, we should review Krishna's power and care for devotees. These two principles seem to be the driving force for surrender or giving us strength. Knowing Krishna's majesty, knowing Krishna's power, and knowing how much he cares for his devotees. So this will help us deal with our feelings of inability, and perhaps even lack of details. So there's a beautiful story, there's a beautiful pastime that comes in Krishna Leela of Putana. And the commentary on that, one Acharya, one of the devotees comment that how kind is he to give liberation even to a demoness who came to kill him. Aho bakiyam sthana kalakutam jignam samupaya dapi asadvi lebe gatim dhatri uchitam tatungyam kamva dayalu saranam rajena. He's saying, who is one who is more dayalu, merciful than Krishna? Why? Because he's even given liberation to a asadvi. Somebody, sadhu means a devotee, sadvi means a female devotee. Asadvi is not even a devotee, and he gave liberation. What kind of service he gave her? Dhatri. He gave her the situation of even being a nurse. Such a personal service to being a nurse. So this is Krishna. So as the devotees focus on these qualities of Krishna and how he relates with his devotees, then they develop better strength, better faith, better intuition to trust Krishna when times are not going as they had hoped. So I hope this helps you. Please join us again tomorrow. Hare Krishna.